Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married to Medicine Season 9, Episode 7. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, y'all know they're still in Vegas. They show Dr. Jackie FaceTiming Curtis. Honey, that's a sneaky one, okay? And he still ain't fooling me. Contessa and Simone are getting ready for dinner. So in the other room, Quad, Anila, and Audra, they're talking about the whole Heavenly and Contessa thing. So Quad feels like both of them are wrong. Child, I'm so tired of hearing about it, honey. I don't care who wrong and who right, child. I don't care. I just really don't care. Baby, Anila got that pump it up ponytail. It's giving black girl. I know that's right, Anila. Baby, she got that pump it up ponytail on, honey. Everybody looks nice. Contessa looks New Year's Eve-ish. Okay, Tessa girl. So they get to this restaurant. And let me tell y'all something. I loved the decor and the ambiance of said restaurant. I loved it. So when they get there, they sit down in the little lounge area before they go to their table, and Contessa apologizes to the group about her part in all that fussing they was doing at breakfast the other day when Toya was looking for that bacon. So, you know, she just wants to have fun. She wants to get over it. She don't want to do no fussing. So Toya in the confessional, she talking about, well, let's just move on because we know Heavenly ain't going to apologize. Well, all right then. Moving forward. So Simone brings up that she wants to ask some messy questions for her and Cecil's book. She was like, it might be messy and it might not be. Simone, everything that you have done thus far on this trip has been messy. Okay? So let's get into that. So the head chef comes out and he leads the ladies over to the table. Baby, Miss Quad was impressed by him. Do y'all hear me? I ain't know that was your speed, Quad. Oh, okay, sis. Honey, I didn't know. So Anila was like, he's married, Quad. Baby, Quad didn't say one word. Do y'all hear me? Crickets. Now, you already know Heavenly already did put it out there that something was a little bit funny. But y'all, I ain't the one to gossip, so y'all ain't heard it from me. Allegedly. Moving forward. Over at the table, they decide to play a game called Spill the Tea. So the first question is, would you prefer a quickie or a marathon? I say quickie, honey. I got reviews to do. I ain't got time for that. Honey, I ain't got time for all night long, child. Just give me what you're going to give me and get on, honey. Quad said quickie with a little neck grabbing. Yes, Quad, honey. I like a little aggression in the boudoir. Okay? Get into it. So then they asked, you know, if it were a problem if the woman was the breadwinner. I'm surprised they actually let Carrie have a speaking part, honey. They let her ask a question, honey, and I was totally shocked. I was like, oh, Carrie speaks. Because, child, she just be standing up there like an extra child. Carrie said, I'm just here so I don't get fined, honey. I'm going on the free trips. I'm going to be seen amongst these heifers, and I'm not going to say a word unless I absolutely have to. So Toya said, you know, there are problems when only the man feels like he's the head of the household. And so Heavenly was like, do you feel like it's based on him being the head of the household for him to be the breadwinner? And she was like, well, no, I don't think that. So Heavenly said, well, it's biblical that the man is supposed to be the head of the household and he's supposed to be the breadwinner. Here goes Toya. I love the Bible. Me and the Bible, we're best friends. But it don't say nothing about the man being the breadwinner. Okay, I think what she means is when they say the man is the head of the household, she's assuming that that ties in with you being the provider. So I think that's what Heavenly is trying to say. Side note, this food, I need to get to Vegas just to eat at this place. Okay? When I tell y'all I am a foodie and I was looking at this food salivating, I was like, look, I'm like, Contessa, can we get a to-go box? Wrap this up, honey. I'm going to take this back to the room. So then Dr. Jackie asks, can your husband have female friends? Honey, it's a no for me, big dog. Okay? I don't like female friends. I don't like that's my play sister. I don't like that's my play cousin. I don't like we grew up together. Because sometimes these men be trying to hide you out in the open. Skinning and grinning whole time, y'all done laid down. See, the same thing is happening over there on Married at First Sight. If y'all watch that show, honey, and y'all know I reviewed that show with Nate and his friend. Okay, and I'm doing air quotes. Honey, you don't need no female friends. Ain't no female friend, babe. You don't need it. So Simone is like, well, Me being married to someone who had a female friend, I don't have a problem with it. Girl, you almost divorced Cecil over that lady. She was like, I don't have a problem as long as they respect boundaries. So then Contessa was like, her question goes, what are the symptoms of a dysfunctional marriage? Well, honey, you should know. And not Contessa getting that question. Catch it. She's like, well, I mean, there are different symptoms, so you just can't let people get in your head. Ma'am, just say I stayed with my husband and I don't care what you have to say. Just say that, because this is like the third or fourth episode where you're like, you can't be listening to everybody. You can't let people get into your head. It is okay, Contessa, if you stay with your husband. Whatever you decide to do in your marriage, that's fine. Just don't tell us, because then when we go up for you, then all of a sudden it's a problem. Now we can't put it on the YouTube. Now we can't talk about it. So just don't bring it out. And when everything is everything, then y'all reemerge, honey, better than ever. So then the ladies, they start to eat and whatnot. So then Audra asks, what were you surprised about when you got married? Toya gonna say that their penis is not going to get bigger. Toya, do you just live to embarrass Eugene? Okay, honestly, I don't have a problem with Toya. Toya used to be my favorite. Okay, I used to love me some Toya. But it's the tackiness for me. Eugene ain't bothering nobody. All he does is work, come home, and take care of y'all. The least you could do is not out him on national television. If he was a grown damn man when you got with him, of course his penis is not growing. Charlie's already grown. But that penis was working fine enough for you to be in that house and move from place to place to place to place to place. Girl, bye. So Quad asked, as a married woman, how much do you, masturbate? And Toya said, well, in the shower, I can do it 4 or 5 times. It just depends on the water pressure and whatnot, honey, where the angles are hitting and whatnot. So Anila said, well, I do it when, Karen leaves for work. Oh, okay. So you got time for that, but you can't get up to make sure that you get them kids together. Got it. So Quad is like, well, why not before he leave? And Anila said, because he leaves at 4 a.m. and I'm asleep. Girl, ain't nothing a little rollover can't fix. Honey, roll over, toot that thing up, let him do what he got to do, and go on to work, child. You just making up excuses, the same excuses that you were making up when Miss Gomez burnt rubber out of that driveway. Moving forward. So Quad was like, well, as a single lady, I do it a lot. They were like, oh, okay, 2 times a day. She was like, no, here go Toya. Quad, that's too much. Is Toya drunk? Baby, when I tell y'all, Toya is loose as a goose. Oh, and correction. The chef is not only the head chef, but he's also the restaurant owner. No wonder Quad had her, her pinky fingers up, honey. Her antennas were up, child. Not the restaurant owner, because he making some money out there in Vegas. Anywho, that's just a side note. Listen, this is the thing. I'd rather her do what she got to do than to go out and get all these bodies. So, honey, if you want to do what you got to do 5 or 6, 7, 8 times a day, you, yourself, and I, shout out to Beyonce, then do what you gonna do, honey. Just do what you gonna do. Moving forward. So then the head chef brings out another course, and it's money for the strip club. So baby, the heifers are on the way to the strip club. So they go outside and get in this 2001 limo to go to the strip club. And Anila is in there, and she's asking them if they're gonna tell their husbands. She was like, y'all gonna tell your husbands? Child, Toya done called Eugene. So while she FaceTiming Eugene, why is Quad over in the corner talking about, yeah, she done called Eugene's the little committee. I was like, oh my gosh, Quad, why are you saying that? I am embarrassed for Eugene. I would have to let Toya have it. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear nothing about you being drunk. I don't want to hear nothing about that, because you're embarrassing this man on national TV. His family watches this show, I'm sure. Like, that's just embarrassing. So Contessa was like, oh, my husband ain't gonna care. He probably get turned on by it. Yeah, if you were going to a female strip club, but you are not. So then Contessa was like, if we did husband swap, who would y'all want to switch with? And baby, Toya did not hesitate to answer the question. Do y'all hear me? Toya was like, Dr. Karen, because he looked long. Anila said long and strong. Anila, are you drunk? Because, honey, I wish a heifer would sit in my face and say she want to swap with me because she think my husband is long. I'll be like, you going to have a long shiner here in a minute. Don't play about mine, honey. That ain't funny. Okay, I don't play about my husband. Now, y'all can play about anything else y'all want to play about. Like Phaedra said over on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you can twirl your hair, you can model your shoes, but please don't put your paws on Apollo. Y'all do whatever you want, honey, but do not come over here talking about my husband, honey. That ain't funny. That is not funny. And not you gonna say the man your husband got beef with. Girl, oh my gosh, child. So they get to this all-male review, right? I can't stand a male strip club. Y'all like a male strip club? Comment down below if y'all like a male strip. I do not like no male strip club. Nothing about them moving in a circle is attractive to me. They be slithering like snakes coming up. I'm like, okay, baby, please back up, honey. I mean, to each their own, but I just hate the corny moves and the sock puppets. Like, no, thank you. Just no thank you, ma'am. I don't want it. So they bring out this one, right? But before they do, I look over there, they paying to Dr. Jackie, baby. She got a full-on shawl draped around her shoulders. I said, girl, not a shawl in the strip club. And not only did she have on a shawl, she had her mask on. I said, oh, okay, girl, per the CDC. But ma'am, this is a show. We're shooting. Take your mask off and take off that shawl. So, child, the man in the strip club, the MC, he already knew Dr. Jackie was there just for, for filming, okay, because nothing more. So they bring out this one man, and he must have been Bolo's brother. Because, baby, that thing was touching the floor. Here go, Dr. Jackie. Let me put my glasses on. Baby, you don't need no glasses for that thing, honey. You do not need no glasses for that. So in the confessional, she was like, yeah, I mean, you can't have it too big because it causes tears. And, you have to really enter slowly. I would never want all that. I know women be like, oh, I need that big. I don't want all that, honey. Give me just enough. I don't want too much. Child, be having me getting a hysterectomy before my time. Moving forward. So then they pull Heavenly up on stage. Heavenly a little freak on the slick, and she ain't fooling me. Every time they have one of these events, like when they had that sipping paint and stripping paint or whatever it was, child, Dr. Heavenly was the one getting lifted up off her feet. Dr. Heavenly, you a little frisky, and you'll have a full-on fit if Dr. Damon Daddy was up in that strip club. Y'all remember when they went to that strip club last time, and he was sitting there talking to the women about life, and Heavenly got pissed. Okay, but she can do whatever she want. Don't do that, buddy. Y'all know how Dr. Damon call her buddy. Oh, I don't know about that, buddy. Oh, child, that's funny to me. Baby, this script club experience fell flat as hell for me. I was like, child, take me back to the script club. Moving forward. And so after them showing the strippers, child, they show the men meeting up for boxing. I said, not y'all gonna baby, what a transition. How you gonna transition from Bolo over to the husbands? Honey, they look so sleepy, child. Oh, they look so tired. But I have to say this, boxing is a great way for you to work out. When I wanted to get fit for my trips to Miami and I wanted to get snizzatched, the first thing I'm gonna do is go box. Because when I tell y'all that it works every part of your body and you will come out looking fabulous, yes, ma'am. So, if you want to get fit real quick, take some boxing classes because it works every part of your body. So they're boxing. But y'all, now every time I see Eugene, all I think about is what Toya said. It's giving pencil. It's giving number 2 pencil. Why did Toya have to say that? Oh, I don't want to look at her husband like that, y'all. But I can't get that out of my head. So somehow, Eugene and Dr. Kieran got paired up for sparring while they're at the boxing ring, right? Well, child, once he hears Toya's fantasy, honey, and her fantasizing about wife swap, he gonna knock Dr. Kieran's block off. I cannot believe that woman said that. I'm like, oh, Toya. Oh, Tacky Toya strikes again. Toya, some things you have to think about before you say them. Girl, you just say any old thing. So the men start talking about, what they think the ladies are doing. Here goes Cecil. I know half of them turning in early. I know for a fact Simone sleep. Cecil, you actually think they're asleep? Sure they are. Child, they ain't a bit more sleep than the man in the moon. They've been talking about sex since they got there. Let's talk about sex, baby. This is Sin City. You think they sleep? Even Dr. Jackie and her shawl staying up past 10 p.m. Child. So they sit down and they're talking, and then they talk about the whole thing between Dr. Kieran and Eugene and about how this is much better than them throwing axes. And the men were able to get over it. And I'm happy that they squashed it because really and truly, it was all Anila behind this, and I know it was. And I just feel like the men would have never got involved in it had the women not coached them. And Dr. Kieran, you have to use discernment, okay? Now, I know Anila want to be, funny, but at the same time, Eugene ain't never did nothing to you, child. So let's just keep the jokes to ourselves. And if y'all ain't really cool and friends like that, then they don't go over well. Okay? Moving forward. It's the next morning and Dr. Karen is on the phone with Anila. Everybody waking up from the strip club, child. Toya and Contessa, they're also calling back home, but Contessa is calling her trainer and she ain't calling her man. And I'm like, girl, not you calling this trainer. Now, quiet as it's kept turning. I don't know if it's just me, but when the trainer and Contessa get together, Anywho, so Dr. Jackie is calling her assistant. She's like, girl, we went to the strip club. Why y'all announcing the strip club? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, whether it was filmed or not. Honey, you ain't got to call and announce to everybody that you went to the strip club. Moving forward. In the next scene, Jackie and Heavenly, they're getting breakfast together. They have a few IV drips, honey, to get the heifers back together. Because, it was a time last night, honey. It was everything happening all at once on that little bitto stripper stage. And so now they got to get themselves together. But first, they need to find some bacon. When I tell y'all they were hunting for that bacon for Toya, child, if she don't get that bacon... Y'all know all hell gonna break loose. And I don't know if Vegas got a shortage of bacon or what is happening, but they ended up locating the bacon. I'm like, ooh, child, bacon secured. So Simone joins them for the Golden Girls reunion, and these heifers stay fighting and coming back together or whatever they doing. They dropping it low and picking it up slow, having a good time together. And I was thinking, oh, okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm just not really trusting Simone like that, because it's just how she like to do. Now, I feel like Heavenly really does want to be Simone's friend, but Simone does not want to be Heavenly's friend because, first of all, she resents her and Jackie's relationship. That's number one. And number two, after she said that thing about Cecil all over Twitter, she ain't liked Heavenly since. And she can pretend to like Heavenly all she wants to, but she does not like her. And that's just that on that. So they're getting IVs and all the rest of the other ladies show up. Child, I don't know why Carrie getting an IV. Honey, she should be the most rested out of all of them. Carrie, you should be the most rejuvenated person here, including production. So Heavenly asked for Simone's video. She was like, girl, let me get your video so I can edit it. Simone said, no, we're going to use it. And I'm going to host at our house. And we're going to show you what videos should be like. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use this video. I can't stand Simone with all this flip-flopping. Didn't I tell y'all? Simone just cannot be trusted, honey. You were just dipping it and doing it with Blanche and Sophia. Now you getting mess started over breakfast. It's something about Simone and breakfast in Vegas. Is she going to start a mess? You did this last time when y'all went to the restaurant. Now here you are. Y'all are having a good time, Simone. Why are you doing this? Child, you just producing a scene and whatnot. But we get it. You don't like Heavenly. So Heavenly is like, Contessa, you know that wasn't my intention. You got to know that. Contessa's like, don't cry, because you're going to make me cry. Girl, she ain't crying. Not a tear the first. And I like Heavenly. Don't get me wrong. But that makeup was still intact, honey. Not one tear dropped. Do you hear me? Not one. So she gets up, she hugs Heavenly's neck, and she's like, it's okay. She's like, I'm sorry, Contessa. So child, they hugging and whatnot. Contessa accepted her apology. Child, thank God, honey. So next episode, we can move on. So Quad is like, you can't be doing your friends like that. Like, we love you. It's all right for you to be vulnerable, because Heavenly was saying how she never cries. She was like, I don't never cry, and I don't ever show my emotions. And Quad was like, well, it's good that you're doing that because we love you. We just don't want you to talk about us because we're your friends. So in her confessional, she was just saying that she's had a hard life, and she was like, I just feel like what I do, it's a coping mechanism. I just laugh it off, and it's also a lack of maturity. Now, I did appreciate the fact that she acknowledged that. She acknowledged that in front of the ladies, and I thought that was big of her. And then she revealed in the confessional that her childhood is why she is the way she is. She's like, it's not an excuse, but I'm just saying, when somebody comes for me, I come at them 10 times harder. So Quad is like, see, she apologizes, and she never does that. Toya said, yes, she does. She absolutely does. She does it all the time. Then she turns around and does the same thing over again. So Toya is basically like, how do I know this time is real? And she was like, well, it's going to take me, really changing and just showing y'all that it's real. I like the fact that they talked it out, and Heavenly was able to get out what she needed to say. But Heavenly, you still on that YouTube going in. Okay, still on that YouTube spilling tea. But you done moved from that closet to the bed. But everything remains the same. So it's safe to say that I don't know when this intervention or whatever this was done, but the foolery is still happening. In the next scene, it's time for the ladies to get back to the ATL. Baby Toya packing up the room. Baby Toya packing that liquor and everything else. I said, Baby Toya said nothing will go to waste. I know that's right, y'all. So they all packing up and it's back to the ATL. Bye, heifers. And that was the end of the episode. This episode was so cute to me. I'm happy that the trip ended on a good note. They had ups and downs, lefts and rights. Simone was producing TV, child being all loud and cackling and whatnot. Dr. Heavenly and Contessa almost came to blows. Then they hugged it out. And I'm just happy it's over. But baby, that mid-season trailer. Audra, girl, the ladies got you feeling like that? Child, this is going to be a whole fool, and Bravo going to have a home invasion if they don't do nothing else. Child, I can't wait to see what's going to unfold. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.